Hi all, Jin here, and the best girl Garnet has arrived. Oh, and little eye patch boy too. I will go over generally how to play him and my thoughts, but this video will be ignoring him mostly as much as he ignored me, and will be a special combination vid of how to plays for Garnet and Aphmau. Yeah, that's right, Aphmau, where I go over their kit, EX Plus, and my thoughts and recommendations while taking them into the event chaos fight afterwards. As usual, in the pinned comment are timestamps for easy navigation, as well as a link to my full playlist for all the how to play vids I've done. So regarding the banner, I already had my prize, Garnet purpled, even prior to pooling, so was just hoping to snag Eald'narche on the free pool to make life very simple for me. But I got trash, of course, as my free pools usually are, and so thus began some ticket pools and praying that they would not be as bad as Aphmau's banner. In a sense it wasn't, as I luck sacked a Garnet dupe in my third ticket, which by the way is my third best ticket luck ever. My two best ticket pools were actually second ticket EX pools, both being Cloud and Sephiroth. And those were dupes as well. So, can I have a single ticket luck sack that isn't a dupe for once, please? I have never gotten like a 1 ticket luck sack or a 2 or 3 ticket luck sack that was not a dupe. Well, anyways, it also took quite some time to get another EX, 167 tickets later to be exact. And of course it was another Garnet dupe. And then 4 tickets later, between an Ignis off banner, what do you know, another Garnet EX dupe. Well, I then went to my 200 ticket limit and there was no Eald'narche to be found. And then I was on Resfoina's stream, shout out to Rez, you can follow her on Twitch and YouTube. And I was debating whether I should keep going or not. And then I finally decided I would do 10 tickets rotating between this banner and Aphmau's until I got at least Aphmau or Eald'narche. I will admit that it was a bit of a rage pool because I was a bit frustrated between my luck between both banners. So I did eventually get Aphmau's EX. And that is the one I wanted more anyways, so rage pooling for the win, I guess. I did end up actually going another 50 for Eald'narche just to see if I could ride that luck train, but no dice. But it's all good. All in all, just a buttload of tickets, like around 650 total down the drain for what eventually became Aphmau's EX. Between the two banners, all I pretty much got was Aphmau's EX. Well, I guess I did get Lion, but I'm not doing anything with Lion. And that was including the initial that I spent on her banner prior. But I'll take it. I'll take it. I'm very happy to have Aphmau's EX, and shout out to Brian who actually donated a costume so that I would be able to just take a stab with 2 multis on her banner. They came up with nothing, but I really appreciate the gesture and it gave me more motivation to try and get her still, so a big thanks to Brian again. Alright, so I still want to cover my general thoughts on Eald'narche for those of you who had better luck than I and have him, and since he is a bit of an interesting character who is hella strong as well, I really wish I could have covered him completely, but essentially he starts off with his exoplates, and that gives him amazing defense buffs, 50% brave and HP damage reduction, 100% debuff evasion, and prevents him from being KO'd. But it will then heal him to full HP and dispel the exoplates. Both his initial skill 1 or a KO will dispel his exoplates, and they cannot be gotten back. So before dispelling his exoplates, you might want to spam some of his skill 2s first, which also inflict 40% attack down while he's in nearly invincible mode, and then dispel them at the right time when you're ready to go on the offensive. Because all of his skill 2 uses will restore upon exoplates dispelling too. You will be using his skill 1 for this usually, which is instant turn rate and no turn count, and hopefully you're not relying on a KO to dispel them. And he will go from a defensive juggernaut to an offensive terror, literally. At this point, I'm going to assume you have a 3-3 Eald'narche, and which you should if you're using him, so he will apply the Terror unique debuff on all enemies for 2 turns upon dispelling the exoplates, and this debuff will make it so that if they're targeting him, or they're just targeting all your party, they will literally not be able to act. And they will also take 20% extra HP damage from him. So at this point, he will have 12 total skill uses. His skill 2 will have refresh to 7 again, and his skill 1 is an AoE split HP attack with 250% overflow and inflicts 20% speed down for 6 turns. His skill 2 is a single target HP attack with 109% overflow and 50% splash that inflicts 40% defense down for 6 turns to all, and the unique debuff warp for 2 turns to all, which also has additionally another 30% defense down along with it, and allowing him to get free turn after an enemy's turn, which is similar to Realm. So essentially if you have Terror and the Warp debuffs on an enemy, and they are targeting him or all, they won't be able to act, and he will get a free turn right after them. Free turn meaning it does not count against the turn count. That is kind of busted. His EX is 100% AoE, and with both his skills hitting pretty hard too, and his HP++ isn't bad either. So his downsides are he can't apply Terror or Warp until exoplates are dispelled, and he only has 12 skill ability uses once they are, and none of them are free. and his EX is slow, and that's the only way to apply the terror debuff after the exoplates are dispelled. So he may need to rely on his HP++ quite often, a bit for those free turns, and it does have a brave gain of 20% max brave and 3 brave hits, so it's not bad, but it does help to have an aura brave regen since he does take a lot of turns and it can eat through normal buffs. So if you manage his terror and warp debuffs, you can kind of block an enemy for a long ass time if you're spamming his skills and getting his EX up in time, and you're getting free turns out of those as well. And with his defense down and speed down debuffs, they help to complement this, as in more damage and slower enemies, so he can get his EX up in time again. And especially if you're running him with a delayer, you can allow him to keep reapplying terror consistently at the cost of free turns. But if the enemy can literally not do anything, that's a pretty nice trade-off. He's also a great friend unit like Realm, since his free turns won't count towards friend turn count. But a delayer is no good in that situation for a friend unit Eald'narche, because that means you're forcing him to take his normal turns and he'll go away first. I hope that covers his bustedness and his kit decently enough. He can actually be quite boring unit to use, I've heard, and it makes sense since enemies may not do literally anything for the whole fight. But hey, sometimes it's nice to breeze through content, eh? Do keep in mind he is a ranged unit even though he looks like magic. If you want a more detailed look at his infographic, go visit and support the great work of the Tonberry Troop at tonberrytroop.com. Alright, on to the actual magical unit on the banner and the queen of the banner, Garnet, who comes with a massive rework as well as a realizable EX now. So let's start with her reworked base kit first. Her skill 1, Aquamarine Water Glint, is a brave gain of 100% attack, plus a 4/0 AoE brave split HP attack with 170% overflow that batteries allies by 50% HP damage dealt. It will inflict water resist down for 4 turns to all targets, as well as grant a brave regen of 40% eye brave to the party for 8 turns. It will also dispel the buff Thunder Tsar if she has it, and give herself the unique buff Water Dragon for 8 turns, which is a max brave up of 20% and a party aura of max brave 25% and eye brave 45%. She will also be enchanted with the water element and boost 30% damage to her water skills. Her Brave Plus becomes Deluge, a water elemental 2 AoE brave attack that batteries her allies by 80% attack, and her HP Plus becomes Dragon Wave, a water elemental 2 brave HP attack with 120% overflow that batteries allies by 60% HP damage dealt. Her skill 2, Peridot Thunderflash, is a brave gain of 170% attack, plus a 4 AoE brave split HP attack with 180% overflow. It will inflict the thunder resist down for 4 turns to all targets, as well as grant herself a max brave up of 30% for 8 turns. It will also dispel the buff Water Dragon if she has it, and give herself the unique buff Thunder Tsar for 8 turns, which is max brave up 20% and a party aura of max brave up 25% and attack up 25%. She will also be enchanted with the Thunder element and boost 30% damage to Thunder skills. Her Brave Plus becomes Super Bolt, a Thunder Elemental 3 AoE Brave single target HP attack with 120% overflow and refunds her Brave of 20% HP damage dealt. And her HP Plus becomes Hammer of Judgment that batteries the party by 70% attack prior to doing a 2 Brave HP attack with 120% overflow and 20% splash. Her EX Holy Prayer gets a sexy new animation update and batteries the party by 60% max Brave and heals the party by 60% max HP, while granting the unique buff Holy Prayer to the party for 10 turns, which is a Brave regen of 85% Eye Brave and a Water and Thunder enchant, while also increasing 25% damage to Water and Thunder skills. Her C65 and C70 is a party max Brave boost of 10% and a party Brave regen of 40% Eye Brave for 3 turns. Her bloom extends it to 5 turns and additional use, so definitely should pick it up. And now onto her new EX Plus. At 0-3, the Brave gain and HP heal on her EX are now increased to 9% of max Brave and max HP respectively from 60%, with 160% overflow. She also gains attack and max Brave up of 40%. At 1-3, she gains party attack and max Brave up of 40%. At 2-3, her EX now imperils both Water and Thunder for 4 turns and gives a free ability use on the next turn, and grants a unique buff Holy Guardian for 1 turn that increases her damage overflow by 50%. She also starts off with a free first ability that costs no turn count, and the party starts off with her buff Holy Prayer for 10 turns. At 3-3, Garnet now has the forever useful last stand passive, so she now can't be KO'd when her health is above 50%. Her EX ability has the increased recast speed, along with instant turn rate and free turn, while giving her Holy Guardian 1 turn buff an additional 30% overflow for a total of 80%. So her EX Plus is really loaded, and a definite 3-3 since she's also an attacking support. You want the stats. I really dig the party auras for 1-3 limit breaks, and at 2-3 the EX imperils and the whole party starts off with the enchant, and she gets a free ability used to set up, And at 3-3 is the amazing cherry on top with Last Stand, faster charging EX, and doesn't cost a turn and just lets her deal massive damage immediately after with extra overflow and a free ability. The sphere she gives is also one of those rare amazing attack up C spheres which grants attack up 10% for 6 turns when her own HP is restored. It's perfectly fine for her, even if she only heals on EX, since 6 turns is long enough, and she benefits greatly from attack. Also, it would go well on any other unit who has heals and needs more attack, of course. I already gave it to her, along with maximizing her attack for her A slot with Cloud of Darkness' sphere as well, but any attack up A sphere that she can proc will do. For the D slot, again, ideally any attack up for the party that she can proc would be best. I don't have any of those, so it is blank. So obviously focusing so much on attack, her primary arts will be 3 times 108 first and foremost. Every battery she does is based on attack or damage dealt outside of her EX. So C50 is a great secondary because it boosts her attack even further alongside with Max Brave, I Brave, and Defense, albeit only for the last wave. But the most difficult fights moving forward are not more than 2 waves usually. Just make sure she has full health moving on to the last wave and you'll be fine. 330 would be an adequate third choice since it increases her EX battery and it also benefits her for all the waves. I'm pretty close to done myself. I tried finishing her a while ago actually. I'd consider myself done if that 65 330 was actually a 108 330, but I'll take a 108 C50 or a 108 330 to finish it off. Okay, so how to play Garnet. I'm speaking primarily for a 3-3 Garnet, but the same thought process can be applied to other ones. I still suggest you 3-3 her. So you're going to want to start with both skills normally, with one being free, since both grant a buff that she doesn't start out with. Now the order of the one you choose is going to be dependent on which stance you want to be in, Thunder or Water. Thunder is the more offensive stance, with her Brave Plus dealing HP damage with Refund and her HP Plus dealing Splash, and her party aura has an additional attack up of 25%. Water is a more defensive battery stance, with her Brave Plus battering the party and HP Plus dealing battery based on HP damage dealt, and providing the party 45% more Brave regen. Starting out in Thunder is great for trash waves, but generally I prefer to be in Water stance since I love the Brave regen and the battery from this stance. Especially her HP Plus with 60% HP damage dealt is a large amount of battery. So I would start off my free ability on skill 2 and then go into skill 1 to end up in Water stance. Keep in mind skill 1 also batteries allies upon its use, so can be used to prevent breaks as well, while skill 2 has more initial Brave gain and overflow. And of course, if you're fighting enemies weak or resistant to either Thunder or Water, try to stay in the more advantageous element more. Because you have free abilities after EX, is not a big issue to waste the free ability on your less preferred stance at the beginning. Just use your less preferred stance skill to charge the EX more often, and the free skill on your more preferred stance, so that you end up in that stance again after EX most of the time. That's pretty much it in a nutshell. Most important is knowing what stance is best for which situation and team, and staying in that one more often than not, while using the other skill to charge the EX more. Her generic buffs are also long enough that you shouldn't have a problem of running out before cycling through both skills, and they're actually not really that important anyways and can be easily replaced with other buffs from the party, especially if you're running her alongside another support. Alright, so onto her pros. She's finally turn efficient and it's not difficult to keep your party enchanted and the enemies imperiled anymore. Now with her faster EX cast that also imperils, along with her free turns and free abilities, which allows you to choose her stance easily, and both having good benefits as well, and you got great longevity alongside good HP pluses and Brave pluses. She does great damage for support while enabling your party to do the same. Her EX does an amazing burst battery and heal for free, with finally getting Last Stand as well. Now onto her cons. Her attack auras for the party, even in Thunder stance, is a tiny bit lacking for quote-unquote meta support. The enchant and peril does make up for it and allow your party to hit harder, but having 2 elements means there's a chance one or both can be resisted and lock her out of a fight. She can fight through it a bit, but will obviously be less than ideal. Her heal, while really strong, is only on her slowish EX, so it will never be on-demand heals, and her enchant is also tied to this EX buff that gives to all party members, so it's not an aura, so faster units can possibly burn through the buff before it's reapplied. But it is 10 turns, so those would have to be some insane free turners, and your Garnet would have had to been HP plussing a lot that her EX isn't charged up again. My issue is more of it having to take up a buff slot as well, and she also has 5 total buffs on herself, with 3 being unique. At least the generic ones can be pushed off without too much worry. My final thoughts on Garnet. She brings everything you need as an attacking support: auras, strong heals, imperil, enchant, turn efficiency, damage, brave regen, and battery. And while Eald'narche has those ridiculously busted debuffs, Garnet is still the prize of the banner to me, because just look at her, she does everything you need, supports her life, and if you have neither, it's a terrific banner to invest in to try and get both, and is one of, if not the best of this era, with Raijin and Saz banner being up there along with it. If you do need a strong ranged damage dealer, then Eald'narche is the better pick than Garnet, but overall I feel supports have a longer shelf life, especially Garnet, who has the Imperial and the Enchant that helps her have longer staying power than other supports. Alright, on to a late how to play for Aphmau, since she has finally blessed me with her EX, and ignore that I rage pooled a bit. She also came with a rework along with a brand new realizable EX, so let's quickly go over her base kit first. Her skill 1, Shield Subverter, batteries the party by 30% max Brave into a melee 4 Brave hit HP attack with 170% overflow that refunds her 40% HP damage dealt. It grants herself the unique buff Nanjing's Tactics for 8 turns, which gives defense up 70%, Brave damage reduction 50%, and 100% debuff evasion. It also grants to her allies the unique buff Automaton for 4 turns, which is just a Brave regen of 100% iBrave. Her skill 2, 6 Element, is a high turn rate magic 6 Brave HP attack with 160% overflow and 50% splash. While inflicting all enemies with 20% speed down, it grants herself the unique buff Objang's Tactics for 8 turns, which gives 60% attack up, 60% max Brave up, and 20% speed up. Similar to skill 1, it will also grant her allies the unique buff Automaton for 4 turns. While buffed, she has a Brave Plus Fine Tuning, a melee 1 Brave hit that batteries allies by 20% max Brave, extends Nanjing's Tactics and allies Automaton by 1 turn, and grants the unique buff Fine Tuning to all allies, which is similar to her own Nanjing's buff but for 4 turns and 20% less defense at 50% defense up, 50% Brave damage reduction, and 100% debuff evasion. Also while buffed, her HP Plus Optimization is a magic 2 Brave hit HP attack that extends Objang's Tactics and allies Automaton by 1 turn, and grants the unique buff Optimization to allies, which is similar to her Objang's buff but for 4 turns and 10% less max Brave in attack, so at attack up 50%, max Brave up 50%, and speed up 20%. Her EX ability, Activation and Imperial Authority, is a melee 4 Brave hit HP attack with 150% overflow that grants herself the unique buff Welling Courage for 4 turns, which is attack and max Brave up 40%, along with a party iBrave up of 40%. Most importantly, she gets her cutest puppets for 2 turns, Objang and Nanjing. I've probably been butchering their names, but it's okay. And they're designed to just sucker us all into pool for her because of their cuteness. With her puppets, she gets access to upgraded HP Plus and Brave Plus abilities, which are both instant turn rate with no turn count. Brave Plus Nanjing batteries the party by 20% max Brave, followed by a 3 Brave HP attack that refunds Brave by 20% HP damage dealt, while extending own buffs by 1 turn and granting allies the Automaton and Fine Tuning buffs for 4 turns. Her HP Plus Objang is a 3 AoE Brave split HP attack with 150% overflow that applies speed down of 20% for 4 turns, while extending her own buffs by 1 turn and granting allies the Automaton and Optimization buffs for 4 turns. So pretty much her Brave Plus Nanjing is a mix between her Skill 1 and Brave Plus, and her HP Plus Objang is a mix between her Skill 2 and HP Plus. Her C65 and C70 grants iBrave up of 40% for 2 turns and extends her Nanjing and Objang Tactics buffs by 2 turns, and her allies Fine Tuning, Optimization, and Automaton buffs by 1 turn. The bloom increases the extended durations by 1 turn with an additional use. Honestly, her AA isn't that great for her. With 2 turns buffs, she will burn through it fast, and her puppets being able to reapply buffs easily now kind of negates the extension of the buffs somewhat. It was more useful and important when she didn't have the puppets, but it's still okay. I always will get the bloom for people by purple, especially for the additional use to have in certain situations. And if you happen to want to remove her for the friend unit, then you can easily extend people's buffs and take her out. Now onto her EX Plus. At 0-3, her EX ability hits harder with Brave hits increased to 6 and 200% overflow. At 1-3, she gains attack up 40% and max Brave up 60%. At 2-3, she starts with 4 turns of her 2 unique buffs, Nanjing and Objang's Tactics, and a fully charged EX gauge. At 3-3, her EX ability hits harder with Brave hits increased to 8 and 270% overflow. She also gets upgraded versions of her puppet attacks with Brave Plus Nanjing gaining both 120% overflow and healing for the party by 80% HP damage dealt or 30% max HP. Her HP Plus Objang gets an additional AoE Brave hit with increased overflow to 180%. So with Aphmau's strong auras, she's for sure a serviceable and budget support at EX base or 0-3. I even ran her at 35 CP for her own chaos when I didn't have her EX. But if you're investing ingots, go the full 3-3. Otherwise, you'll be lacking healing as a budget support, since her Brave++ from 3-3 heals, and her damage output will be significantly less due to her very fast EX being much weaker, and followed by a lack of upgraded puppet hits afterwards. She has a nice D-sphere if you 3-3 her, which is a party I Brave up of 10% for 6 turns after granting a buff. It's good for her and the Brave regen for the party, but it's actually very versatile in terms of 6 turns being a long time, so most supports can actually grant a buff within 6 turns every time and doesn't have to be like her frantic buff granting, so you definitely can put this on most supports. Also, I want to show off my fully sphered Aphmau as a work of art of synergizing spheres, her own granting party up of 10% iBrave, Penello's which will grant the party 20% iBrave every time a buff is granted, which Aphmau is pretty much doing all the time, so that's a lot of free battery, and Salus's sphere, which continually refunds 40% iBrave back to her for anything she does. So essentially, combined it with all her iBrave boosts, those numbers could be insane with her own sphere as well. She's always going to get large Brave refund for her actions from Salus's sphere and including her free turns, and she'll help battery the party more during those free turns as well with Penello's sphere. You will see it in action soon enough. It's pretty insane, and I like how they all work together. So you can do a similar build for Aphmau in that sense, or you can just go ahead and try to up her attack. For ours, she's dealing lots of damage now, so attack is highest priority with 3 108s first, and then her C50 can boost her attack even further along with her max brave at 5% each. Her 330 is an okay third option, followed by 170 after for her brave regen. My arts are obviously not perfect, but pretty close, and I'm relatively okay with it, hoping to get better during co-ops, but this will do for now. Alright, so how to play Aphmau. I'll be covering primarily a 3-3 Aphmau, so she's actually pretty complicated in what she does, but is made to be pretty simple in her execution with her EX+. Start first with a charged EX naturally, and then her beautiful puppets will appear if you haven't figured it out already. Never ever use anything but Brave++ or HP++ when the puppets are out. Aphmau will now have 3 consecutive turns to deal damage, and that's after her EX already did damage. The safe and simple rotation will be EX, then into HP++, then Brave++, then into one of her skills, and then back into EX, and repeat the cycle over again. If you want to see a consistent one skill use recharge of her EX, you can consider removing her speed passive. And if you go through this rotation, this will allow everyone in the party to easily maintain all of Aphmau's buffs consistently. The optimization of her play, however, pun intended, goes into the nuances of choosing exactly what you're looking for within the rotation. So for example, the reason I would HP++ first is generally because you'll be at higher Brave, so you need the extra overflow, and Brave++ would be after the HP++ dump, and you will at least have the Brave gain prior and a lower overflow ceiling, along with the Brave refund after into her skill. Secondly, for multiple enemy fights, I would normally lean on her HP++ more since it hits harder, and her Brave++ only to refresh those buffs. And sometimes maybe my party is not even needing the extra defense or the debuff evasion, and or it just happens to be pushing off important buffs due to my, bad team composition. So you can opt for mostly HP++ entirely to free up a buff slot, and just Brave++ when needing to heal, or a quick defense and debuff evasion up before a certain enemy attack that you know is coming. Sometimes you may actually need to Brave++ twice to heal a larger amount than you normally would, and so that's an option also. After her puppets are gone, her skill 2 is great to use when enemies are targeting her and or you want to battery the party to prevent breaks, and her skill 1 hits harder with the splash damage. Don't forget that her normal HP+ and Brave+ can also apply the same buffs to her allies if needed in a pinch, but generally you can largely ignore those ones unless you are off by a smidge for her EX charge, or you're trying to stretch out her abilities for a long fight and using her HP+ or Brave+ to charge the EX rather than an ability. Okay, so first onto her obvious cons, buff management, which is largely obsolete with the introduction of her EX. It used to be a giant headache before, or still is if you don't have her EX, but she still takes up 3 framed buffs for the entire party, so it will affect who you want to bring along with her. Also, those buffs are not a long duration on her allies at all with just 4 turns, so even though it's easy to upkeep relatively, but fast free turns, turn stealing units can burn through them quick before she has a chance to reapply them. Also, if Aphmau has to keep healing via Brave++, the potent optimization buff from HP++ may fall off also. She herself is also a fast, free turn unit that can blow through buffs that other allies may give her also. She is also a mixed damage unit with her skill 2 and HP+ related attacks being magic, and her EX skill 1 and Brave+ related attacks being melee. So without an enchanter in peril, some of her attacks may be less than ideal in some fights that resist melee and or magic. Now onto her pros. Outside of the fact that she's just so damn adorable with those puppets, she's a pretty insane support, let's just put it that way. If you have a team comp that is very receptive to her buffs, it's quite easy to keep everyone super powered with her insane buffs and auras. Let's just take a look to see everything she actually brings to the table. Attack plus 80%, max brave plus 50%, eye brave plus 90%, speed plus 20%, defense plus 50%, 50% brave damage reduction, 100% debuff evasion, and a brave regen of 100% eye brave. Those are top tier numbers, along with the ever useful debuff evasion. Outside of her decent battery, her unique buffs increasing eye brave along with the high brave regen amount can lead to some crazy brave regen stacking with others. She also applies a useful speed down debuff that combined with her speed up is enough for a 40% differential to slow down the enemies. Not only that, but she doesn't sit idly by the sidelines either. Her EX does its own decent damage, and then she gets essentially 2 free turns of free damage that reapplies all the buffs, then can go into another turn of damage, and in one of those, if not 2 of those free turns, she can heal your party if needed. Okay, so my final thoughts on Aphmau. She is everything I love in the support. Amazing aura and buff numbers, great damage, heals, free turns, debuff evasion, with an interesting kit and is super adorable. How can I like her so much without ever having played her game? That's the trap, you got me square. So all you need to do is take units that play nicely with her and you'll be headache free about those buff slots. But definitely if I had to choose a banner to pull on without any EX, I'd go for the Garnet and Eald'narche banner since they're both very good, and Garnet's Imperil and Enchant is very useful moving forward, even though obviously Aphmau is a top support along with her debuff evasion. Can't really go wrong with either, but the stronger banner is definitely the Garnet and Eald'narche banner. Okay, so onto the chaos. You can see both Garnet and Aphmau in action. And well, since I have 2 amazing 3/3 synergy supports, I'm gonna see if I can drag along Eald'narche's dead carcass, who wouldn't give me his EX. I do have his 15 and 35 MLB from all those tickets thrown at him, probably almost 300 probably. And you can at least see how he plays without his EX and terror debuff, which is his best thing, but still, whatever. Gotta bring down these girls with someone. Might as well be the little boy that didn't give me his stuff. Alright. Let's go. Kais. We can go Kais friend. I was hoping there'd be an Eald'narche friend for fun, since I haven't even tried him out yet at 3/3, but we can go with Strafe. Shout out to Strafe. So, I am going to want to be in water. Start with skill 2 first, and into skill 1. Nice battery, and we're gonna just start spamming his skill 2s. Let's go ahead, EX, beautiful puppets, come out of nowhere. Whoop, I got a debuff. Attack down. I don't want to launch him exactly yet. That nice battery from HP Plus. And we're gonna go ahead and HP Plus first. And get our debuff evasion on. Goodbye. And I'm just gonna charge my EX. See the splash damage, what he does. Ooh, they're kind of tanky. Yeah, let's get our EX up. And maybe we can kill one of them. No chance, nobody died. It's nice to have debuff evasion. Guess we'll kill you. Oh my god. Die already. Let's see what his splash damage can do. Come on, dude. Oh, I was about to say. A lot of waves. Didn't even realize. Let's go ahead and HP plus. And we'll go ahead and refresh the other buff. Some splash. And let's just go ahead and get my EX up. And launch this guy. Yeah, launch this guy. Will you die? Let's make sure he dies. I got the two cutest girls right now. With the one little boy. Alright, let's do this. Look at how cute she is. Oh my god. So precious with the new animation. Ooh, that's a lot of brave. I want to be in water. And which is HP plus. See, if he had the tear debuff, then boom, they would be all frozen. But he doesn't. You can see that all her brave battery, like she just got brave refund when she shouldn't have, but that's just from Celis' sphere. And you'll see that every action she takes actually will battery the party. This will battery everybody too. So we can watch Aphmau's sphere procs. He's unkillable in this stage. I can just spam HP plus with him. He can live off their battery. Let's go ahead HP plus. So you can see that she'll trigger her C sphere. This is a D sphere, and her C sphere should battery them. And it's gonna battery them again. Let's get the other buff on. Yep, another all buff success bravery, and they're battered even more, along with the skill battering as well. And no one's targeting her. Yeah, let's just go ahead and splash. Let's go ahead and break them all. EX is already up. Like that brave refund on her. Alright, let's start getting some free turns from this guy. Let's start spamming this first. Get their attack down. And this will get my EX up. They're attacking me. Let's go ahead with the Brave Plus. 14k Brave battery, not bad. Let's go with the HP Plus first. Let's launch him. The battery as well. And let's get our other buff on. What's the all attack? I'm not even sure. Let's kill this guy. We can kill him with splash maybe? Perfect. So beautiful. Oh, that battery. Good God. I don't know what that all attack is, but I'm gonna use my EX. So you got some shield up now. Maybe I should just let them KO him. If they can KO him, then his exoplates will be dispelled. It's okay, I'll take the break. Let's go with H+. You can see that Garnet actually had her buffs drop off just because she took so many turns. Looks like I'm not sure if I need to start conserving abilities. Let's just go ahead and pretend we don't need to yet. Oi! That's not cool. I should get her EX up, and yeah, she has last stand, she'll be fine. And let's just go ahead and shape this guy a little bit. Yeah, we'll use our last one, and we'll change into dispelled exoplates after. It's about time I got some free turns. Yep, let's not get broken. Ooh, we have battery a lot. Why do we have so much brave? Alright, time for phase shifting. Whoa, that's very nice. I don't want to launch him though. Oi. It's not cool, man. Let's go ahead and break everybody and battery everybody. Where'd my launch go? Damn it. There it is. HP plus. I would normally probably Brave plus plus twice, but I have Garnet's healing, so it's not a big deal. And let's get some splash, kill them other two. Perfect. And time to summon now. No EX yet. It's okay. Battery. Boom. Man, my 93k is gonna get to 6k more. Yay. Alright. Kai's time. I don't even know if I need him, but yeah. We're gonna do it. She actually has her EX up, so I'm gonna go behind Aphmau instead. This could be a giant launch. Let's go ahead and battery with Brave plus plus first. Very nice, 330k. And let's go ahead and battery some more. Oh wait, no, I still have my puppet. What am I doing? That would be a bad noob mistake. Just get that up for who knows why. Now we're gonna launch up some people again. Let's go behind Garnet. And this dragon wave is gonna be nasty, nasty. Go behind Aphmau, I guess. Keep this guy at bay. Perfect. This is perfect. I should have kept Eald'narche in. Now he's dying a little too quickly. Tis not fair. Eald'narche actually didn't get to have his warp fun at all. That was very wrong of me. That was very wrong of me. I apologize, Eald'narche, but you didn't give me your EX, so you deserve to be sitting on the sidelines. So that was a terrible how to play Eald'narche, because you could even see him in his dispelled exoplates barely at all. But that is why two synergy ridiculous supports can easily carry an Eald'narche that was just pretty much spamming his S2. If you notice like how often my Brave was just so ridiculously filled, it's because of all the Brave regen, all the battery between Garnet and Aphmau. It was insane. And I love Aphmau's spheres. I don't know if you were noticing, but like every action she was taking, she was battering the party extra just because of the sphere, and she was getting Brave back because of her sphere as well. It's just a thing of beauty. And yeah, I showed the spheres. Garnet has her own, and she has Cloud of Darkness' sphere for the extra attack. She has quite good arts. Almost done. He has trash. I mean, I got some important passives like evasions and life boosts pretty much just in case it would be dicey, but it wasn't dicey at all. I have 0 arts on him. And this is a beauty. A beautiful full sphered Aphmau with great arts. This is pretty great. Well, I hope you learned something. This is kind of a long video, but I'd never intended to do an Aphmau how to play. I thought she would be lost forever, but now I have a fully sphered Aphmau, fully maxed, and I love her to bits. And I'm very happy. I mean, I already had Garnet, so I knew that I was going to be happy with her. I didn't get Eald'narche, but there he is anyways. I hope it was enjoyable, and I hope you learned something. I will be going for Raijin and Saz, so I should be having a how to play for both of them. Hopefully I don't have to pity, but we'll see. All the tickets lost from Eald'narche and Aphmau's banners have forced my hand to not trust tickets, and I will gem Saz and Raijin. And I will do how to plays for them. So I will see you then, and hope you enjoyed. Thank you. Bye.